Grief may be unpredictable, but the love we carry never fades. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Women Talk. I'm Nadia, Azmi, and we're happy to have everyone join us for yet another heartfelt conversation. The topic that we will be discussing, it might be something that you have experienced before or maybe not too long ago. It is about coping with loss and the passing of a loved one. We will not just discuss about how to cope with loss and grief, but also explore how we can nurture ourselves and our families as we go through it. On my far right is Sobana Dewi Damodaran, who is a mental health counselor. Thank you so much, Sobana, for being here. And to my left, we have Haswari Ali, or fondly known as Ayi. Ayi, thank you so much for being here, for having the courage and strength to tell us about your story, because you have just recently lost your beloved wife not too long ago. How long ago was that actually?
It was 2 weeks ago.
Just 2 weeks ago, and you're here ready to inspire us all and also give strength to those who are watching. But first of all, salam takziah, our condolences to you and your family on the passing of Ida, Arwah Ida. Can you tell us a little bit about how she passed away and the journey that you had to go through before her passing,
Thank you so much. So my late wife Ida, she actually a cancer fighter, lung cancer, stage 4, and she was diagnosed last February this year.
So it's a fast process.
Yes, it was really fast process, because what I understand, most of the cancer fighter, they got time, or they got some period of time to
accept it, to spend time with family and
sometimes
friends.
Some of them 2 years or 3 years, but for my wife it's really short of period. So she passed away on the 4th of November. And it was so sudden, because it was at our office, and I was at our studios.
When you found out about the news?
And she was falling in the office, and then we sent to the clinic, and then directly to the hospital, and she passed away. Just in a short time of hours. So.
But when you just found out, and when she also just found out about her diagnosis of lung cancer, what was going through your mind at that moment?
We didn't expect that she has lung cancer, because she didn't smoke. I don't smoke as well. And it was something very different. And at first, I so in denial how to accept the situation. But when I see her situation on that time, on January and February, it was very difficult for her to handle the situation, and then very hard for her to breathe. The breathing is so hard, and then after the operation, she had to remove her entire left lung, and at the same time, she was pregnant for five weeks, and she had to terminate the baby. So
how long were you all married to Ida at that point?
That point 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, 3 years,
so
more than 3 years.
Probably trying to have kids as well during that span of 3 years, and then finally, when you found out she was pregnant, it had to happen at the time of when her cancer emerged. I mean, double whammy. How did the both of you take it?
She actually experienced 2 times miscarriages, and then the one is termination. That means 3 times we are trying to get the babies. And how are we facing this situation? Surprisingly, we have a strong support system, especially from the family and friends, and we have a strong belief that mana ada penyakit yang tak ada rawatan ataupun kesembuhan, kan, ubat. So we believe
optimistic,
that way.
Right?
Yes. That's why bila the doctor decided, okay, we have to remove your left lung, and hoping the cancer dah tak ada lagi. So we are very positive. But then only a few months after that, when we go for the doctor, we went for the doctor for the Nadia review, and the cancer is still there, but at a different locations.
Okay. Now you mentioned about in denial, kind of. Let's go to Sobana as a mental health counselor. I saw you were nodding your head as he was talking about his feelings and emotions that he went through during that process. Can you tell us about the different stages of grief? What happens when someone experiences a loss? Is in denial one of the first few things that will hit them?
Actually, the stages that you're asking about was actually developed in the late 60s by a psychiatrist, right?
Okay.
So it was actually designed for patients who are suffering terminal illness and who are facing death, right? So there are 5 stages, like what Encik Aswari was saying. The first thing that he felt was denial, right? So denial comes with shock, and then you are like, no, it's not possible that this is happening. That is the first stage, right?
Okay.
So there are actually 5 stages that is in the framework.
Okay.
So denial, and then anger, and then bargaining, depression, and acceptance, right? So this is the framework. But then again, the normal human experience, the actual human experience can actually vary a lot from the framework. We use the framework as a guide, but sometimes human emotion is very complex, right? So we just use that as a guide, but it can be different.
Right.
So it's not linear. Like you won't feel like, okay, today I feel this much, and then tomorrow is going to get better, the next day is getting better, and all the way we are only getting, it doesn't work that way, because with grief there is a lot of ups and downs.
It's a roller coaster.
Exactly. There's a lot of back and forth. You feel you're okay one day, the next minute you're not.
I want to go through the 5 stages that you've mentioned, Sobana. Denial, that's what Ai was saying he experienced, and then there's anger, and then bargaining. What do you mean by that?
Bargaining is when it's like they feel somewhat of a guilt. They'll go like, oh, maybe if I did things differently, this could have happened. Maybe I could have caught it before. What if we did things different? Is there another way that I could have? They cannot come to an acceptance, so they're trying to bargain,
right,
in
with
that
themselves,
situation, with themselves, or with God or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But there's always an element of self-responsibility. There's always an element of like self-blame.
We'll go for a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you right after this. You're still watching Women Talk, and today the topic is about coping with loss and dealing with grief. Before the break, Sobana, you were talking about the 5 stages of grief, and the first is being in denial, as what Ai also mentioned earlier, and then next anger comes, and then that bargaining that you have with yourself about what you could have done differently in order for a different outcome, and then comes depression before acceptance. Let's go to Ai very briefly before we go back to the 5 stages. Ai, so were you able to resonate when Sobana was talking about those 5 stages?
Yes.
How did you go through that process?
Well, these 2 weeks are kind of very difficult for me. Really difficult, actually.
It's just 2 weeks. Yeah. Give yourself some, time and to heal and all that. So how have you coped with?
So all the stages that she mentioned earlier was. It is what happening to me right now, and I hope I can get the answer. What first stage and to finish at 5 stages. But then how I coping the situation right now? Well, as I said earlier, I have a strong support system from the families, her family, my family, and our friends who are. Telling me or asking me to go out and to do something like jogging, something good for myself. And for me to stay at home or to be in the office every day, it's something that this is not good. You know, this is not good
because it reminds you
Yeah,
of your late wife, because you both worked with each other.
correct. Even bila I pandu kereta ke, when I go to the restaurant, and if my friend asks, oh let's go to coffee, so I said, okay, can we go somewhere that dia tak pernah pergi,
Yes.
and that we not going pergi sama-sama kan, so that's the way it is lah. So yeah.
So Bana, how important is that to remove ourselves from environments that will remind us of our loved one? I mean, it's good to be reminded of them, of course, but is there a limit to that where we have to remove ourselves and keep ourselves distracted with something else?
Right.
Is that one of the coping mechanisms that can be used?
Yeah, I think for him, like what he was saying, maybe for him, he's doing that to cope, right? Because the memories are too painful.
Too overwhelming.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
But there is no real, like, okay, you have to distract yourself or you have to remove yourself. There is no, like hard and fast rules.
Right.
It depends on how much you can take, how much you can deal with, because everybody, like what I said, everybody deals with things differently. For some people, maybe revisiting those places, they can get, you know, those memories. Maybe the memories can actually help them in the process of healing. So it actually varies. Like for him, maybe it's still too early.
Yeah.
What he went through, it's like within the span of 1 year, there's a lot of emotions. Losing wife, losing a baby, it's a lot.
But what about 10 to 20 years from now on? Do people still go through those 5 stages, Sobana?
It is possible, even when you think that you have healed, right? Let's say years later, something else may become like a trigger point, right? Something can remind you. It doesn't mean that you are still grieving, but the missing, it never goes away.
It never goes away.
It never
I'm
goes away.
sure.
Yes.
But I think how you deal with it is different.
Yes.
You deal with the emotions is different. And it gets better through time, right, Sobana? Now, he was talking about how, you know, your friends and family ask you to go out, go jogging. That helps you, you know, stay healthy, yes, but also, you know, distracts your mind, takes your mind off of things that may make you very sad and depressed. That's about self-care.
Self-care is really important, it's crucial, but a lot of people don't understand how self-care works.
Maybe
right?
they think it's a selfish thing. Is that why?
Yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing. But also another thing is usually people don't practice self-care on a daily basis. Only when they go through something, they go and look for ways to cope, and then they go and look for ways to, you know, people will say, oh, go jogging, go and exercise, join the gym, or meditate, pray, whatever, right? If you're not regularly doing it, suddenly for you to pick up the self-care also can become a source of stress, right? Because you've never done it before, you don't know how it will feel. Like if I go gym today, how is it going to feel, right? So self-care is, I would say, like mandatory, right? But it's really good for, even on normal days when we are fine and well, everything is going well, to incorporate self-care into our daily routine. So then when something happens, it becomes very natural for us to just tap into that self-care. Like,
so
now
like
I'm
getting
just
yourself ready to be in any situation.
Correct. So you know
good
how
or
to
bad.
use this self-care to take care and to cope.
How have you been taking care of yourself?
When my wife's still alive, we practice to eat healthy. Yeah, obviously, because she has to. She had to. And then kena makan makanan yang baik lah, kan, beri kesihatan kepada diri you. And as well, as a Muslim, kan, I believe we have a strong belief that segala-galanya you have to put on Allah, kan, to our God. Pengharapan memang kepada satu-satunya kepada Tuhan. But the rest, as you said, is self-care are very important. Pemakanan, kawan-kawan, orang-orang yang disayang di sekeliling saya tu sangat memberi perangsang, especially my staff.
That's so important.
Yes, especially my staff. When I go to work, they don't really show the feeling. But when I ask one of them, how this person, oh, they're telling me about Ida, and oh, okay, so actually when bila I ada bersama dengan mereka, didn't really show their feelings to me. That's very good actually. That's what I really want. But yeah, I think it really takes time, because I heard some people take sometimes like few years, 4 years, 2 years. But for me, Diana, I don't want to, Nadia, sorry, I don't want to be too long to be, to be in pain, in dalam kesedihan yang terlalu lama, because me and
she wouldn't want that either for yourself.
Correct.
So we're going to find out as well after this, what are other ways that we can do, other things that we can do to keep the memories alive about our loved ones that have moved on, that have passed away. So we'll be right back after this break. Don't go anywhere. We're back on Women Talk, talking about how to cope with loss and deal with grief after the passing of a loved one. Now, we would like to ask our guests today, Ai and also Subhana, how we can hold on to the memories of our loved ones, because that is important. What are some of the quiet ways that you feel she's part of your world, part of your daily routines for the past 2 weeks? What are the little things, benda-benda kecil yang, mengingatkan you kepada arwah?
Of course, dia punya senyuman, kan? Of course, dia punya keberanian, kan? Dia punya courage, dia punya semangat. I think dia punya semangat tu yang always being with me right now, and I'm sure she doesn't want me to be sad most of the time. Sugul, as you said, most of the time. And this semangat tu memberi saya semangat untuk hidup seterusnya. And of course, other thing like kalau ada pakaian dia yang I boleh pakai, I would wear.
How does that make you feel?
Part of my life. She's very close to me. Yeah, I feel good, and of course there's something like macam pakaian dia yang barang-barang dia, so I put in a nice way, in a nice place, and I always believe that she's around me, and sometimes I say, hey sayang, I'm going out to TV3 today. To talk about you today.
So you will actually act it out and pretend she's there, you're talking to her.
I did that, yes.
And I think it's important that you live without any regrets. You tak terkilan because you were able to take care of her, especially that period since February when she found out she had cancer until her passing, that you were there for her, you took care of her.
Yes.
Is that how you feel? Like, you did everything you could and you feel some sort of, puas hati.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yes, but as she said earlier, there's something like, perhaps I can do better, I can do this, I can do that. So that situation is happening right now.
You're still learning how to cope with the grief.
Why, and how, those things actually bermain-main di fikiran saya, di hati saya, kan?
You're still trying to navigate your way.
Correct.
Sobana, what about those especially, who have kids, for instance, after the passing of a partner, for instance, life still has to carry on. You have to take care of your offspring, of those around you. How do you balance between still coping with that grief, you can't let that go, and also at the same time taking care of your family and your life?
I think firstly is to have the knowledge that there is no urgency to be strong immediately. Right? A lot of people think that, they'll say, oh, you have children, you need to be strong for them. Right? But what about themselves? What about the hurt that they are going through? So sometimes they feel like there is this societal expectation of how they must be strong, how they must take care of everyone, even though they are also going through, right? So to know that you don't have to become strong immediately, right? It is okay to take your time. So one, it relieves the pressure from having all this, I need to quickly recover. And then it also gives that person space to experience and to grieve properly, right? At the same time, I really like how he said about support that he has, because I think that is that is really your resources that can help you to feel stronger. At least you know that, there are people like people in his office, they're also feeling the sadness, even though they're not saying, but they also are grieving, right? So he will feel like, I'm not alone in this. I have my team who are also feeling the same way, but they're also there for me. That support, coping, all of these things put together is what is going to help the person. Like taking one day at a time. There is no rush to heal. You don't have to heal next week or next month. So that space is really good for healing.
It's a really interesting note, and I think it's a significant takeaway for our audience that there is no urgency to recovering and healing. Did you feel pressured to heal as quickly as you could, especially if you're on social media, all eyes are on you? Did you feel that pressure, i.e.?
Like today, I was planned to not to post anything.
Okay.
But before I went here, I come here, so I did one posting about her. Tak boleh tahan.
What did you write about?
I miss her a lot.
Yeah.
So I found some nice pictures when we went for Umrah together, and then I just posted. So
but why did you not want to do it in the first place?
Because I thought I was strong. Yeah.
Strong for doing, for talking about her.
For talking about her, strong to be for today. But then, as she said, we are human beings, Yeah. So I think social media also is a platform for me to share my feelings.
It's an outlet, nak meluahkan perasaan, and also to share with everyone the love and strength that your late wife had with her, the inspiration that she can give to everyone even after her passing.
Yeah. Because talk about inspiration, she shared a lot of content on her social media, and it was not only get attention by Malaysians, but from all around the world, from America, from Russia, from even Timur Tengah.
That's how touching your story is. That's why Now, before we wrap up the conversation, I know we can talk so much more, but we are running out of time. So Bana, can you give advice to our audience on how to cope with grief and deal with it? As a mature person, while being optimistic at the same time.
Right. Like what I shared earlier, there is no rush to heal. And I think those self-care that we were talking about, actually that's really important, because when you practice those self-care, you also teach yourself to be kind to yourself, to be compassionate to yourself. So, even the bargaining that we were talking about earlier, that phase, because that comes with a lot of self-blame, right? So when you are kind to yourself, when you are compassionate to yourself, you will be more forgiving. Usually we are more forgiving towards other people, but not ourselves, right? We become harsh. But through this act of self-care, you can become more forgiving. So you can, pray, you can write letter to your loved one who's already passed, right? But you can, like as though you're communicating, asking for forgiveness. You can forgive yourself as well if you think that in any way you feel that you want to, responsibility, right? So all these things will actually help eventually to heal and recover.
Ida's story has been making its rounds, including on social media, because it's touching the hearts of so many, her stories and what she has shared before her passing. How would you like everyone to remember Ida?
Dia memang seorang yang when she passed away, and I got a response from the people, especially to those who just datang masa pengebumian. Everyone said, "Oh, Ida, we miss Ida punya senyuman, dia punya gelak ketawa, kan?" Yeah, I think that's more than enough for me to hear that. But for myself, what I have to be positive in the future after this, I have a strong belief that she is in a better place. And better place yang dia berbahagia with our kids right now and playing around with our kids. For me, it's more than enough. At least I know that she is in a better place.
And I can tell that thought gave you a smile just now. So it gives you comfort. When you know that God is taking care of her with your kids as well. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Ai, for sharing with us your heartfelt story. We'll be remembering Ida, inshallah, forever and ever, and her stories will carry on throughout the generations. And thank you, Sobana, for sharing with us as well your expertise on how we can all deal with grief and the loss of a loved one. Thank you so much to the both of you. Now, grief, everybody, is never a predictable journey. It is a emotional roller coaster ride, like how we talked about just now. And the love, it's important to remember that the love of those we've just lost doesn't simply just go away. It carries on with what we do, with what we think about, and it shapes the way that we will live in the future as well. See you, everyone. Take care.